Chosen one, God said, money will come easily to you. This is big. There is an energy forming around you right now that feels different from what you've known before. Not because something outside of you has changed yet, but because something inside you is shifting in a way that cannot be ignored. It feels like a quiet loosening, a soft release, a deep internal permission to receive without struggle. You can sense that your relationship with abundance is no longer tied to the heaviness it once carried. You feel a growing ease, a sense of readiness, a new kind of calm confidence that whispers, you are not going to have to fight the way you used to. This shift is not about luck. It is about alignment. It is the result of every moment you have spent healing, growing, learning, and rising beyond the limits you once thought defined you. Chosen one, before we go deeper, stay with this message until the very end, because the energy woven into these words mirrors the elevation unfolding inside you. And leave your warmest wishes and 144 in the comments, anchoring your alignment and your intention into the universe. I will only mention wishes this one time. From here on, this message will focus entirely on the inner transformation that is allowing abundance to flow to you more easily than ever before. Now, chosen one, press the hype button, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's start. As you move through this shift, you may begin noticing changes in the way you think about money. Thoughts that once carried tension begin to soften. Thoughts that once carried fear begin to dissolve. You are no longer approaching abundance from a place of survival, but from a place of clarity. You stop asking, will I have enough? And begin understanding, I am becoming the person who can attract more, hold more, and sustain more. This inner shift is subtle but powerful. You feel it in the way you breathe, the way your body relaxes, the way you respond to uncertainty. Your nervous system is untangling from old financial fears, and this untangling is opening the door for ease. Chosen one, you may also notice a quiet separation from the versions of yourself who felt unworthy of receiving. The version of you who doubted your abilities. The version of you who carried financial shame from the past. The version of you who felt like abundance was only for others. These parts of you are losing their grip, not because you are forcing them away, but because you are outgrowing them. You begin seeing how your old beliefs were built on fear rather than truth. You begin understanding that your worth has never been tied to your bank account, your status, or your past mistakes. This understanding is the beginning of ease. Money flows where internal resistance dissolves, and right now, that resistance is melting from within you. You may also begin experiencing moments of spontaneous clarity, sudden inspiration, intuitive nudges, fresh ideas, and new insights that feel like they arrived from a higher place. These ideas do not feel random. They feel aligned. They feel like answers to questions you didn't know you were asking. They feel like direction, like guidance, like ease revealing itself through your intuition. This is part of the transformation. When abundance begins to align with your spirit, new pathways appear in your mind long before they appear in your life. Chosen one, another shift you may feel is a growing sense of internal security. Even if everything in your outer reality hasn't changed yet, you feel stability rising from within. You trust yourself more. You trust your decisions more. You trust your ability to navigate uncertainty with grace rather than fear. This internal stability precedes external abundance because the universe does not withhold. It aligns with the version of you who believes they can hold what is coming. And right now, you are becoming that version. You may also notice a shift in the way you respond to financial challenges. Instead of panicking, you assess. Instead of spiraling, you strategize. Instead of shutting down, you explore. This new emotional posture is a sign of internal strength. You are no longer controlled by fear. You are guided by clarity. You move with discernment instead of desperation. You attract opportunities instead of chasing them. This is what ease looks like at the beginning. Not that everything becomes perfect instantly, but that you become grounded enough to navigate everything with confidence and direction. Chosen one, as this transformation unfolds, you will begin to feel your identity shifting. You start seeing yourself not as someone struggling to survive, but as someone rising into stability. You stop shrinking your dreams to fit your doubt and begin expanding your mindset to fit your potential. You feel yourself stepping into the qualities that attract abundance: confidence, clarity, self-worth, emotional maturity, discipline, intuition, and alignment. When these qualities rise within you, money does not have to be forced. It flows. You may also feel your creativity awakening in ways that you haven't experienced in a long time. New ideas come, new perspectives emerge, new solutions reveal themselves. Creativity is a sign of emotional safety, and emotional safety is a magnet for abundance. When your spirit feels safe, your mind becomes open. When your mind becomes open, opportunities follow. This expansion is part of your elevation. Chosen one, you may also notice a deeper connection forming between your purpose and your ability to attract abundance. The more aligned you become with your authentic self, the more naturally abundance flows into your life. You realize that when you operate in alignment, not in fear, not in pressure, not in desperation, everything that once felt difficult begins to feel easier. You understand that abundance is not about chasing, it is about becoming. Becoming the version of yourself who can hold what is meant for you. Becoming the version of yourself who no longer doubts their worth. Becoming the version of yourself who trusts the path unfolding. This transformation does not happen overnight. It builds in small moments. Moments of clarity, moments of release, moments of emotional healing, moments of intuitive recognition. You may not see the entire picture yet, but you can feel the shift. That feeling is the beginning of ease. Chosen one, your relationship with abundance is changing because you are changing. You are embracing a future where financial ease comes from internal alignment rather than external force. You are stepping into a chapter where money becomes a reflection of your clarity, not your struggle. You are entering a season where ease becomes your new foundation. Chosen one, as this inner alignment continues strengthening within you, you may begin noticing a new level of emotional clarity rising in your spirit. Thoughts that once felt tangled now begin to separate. Feelings that once felt overwhelming now become understandable. Worries that once filled your mind with tension now lose their intensity. This clarity is not coming from the outside. It is coming from the stillness forming inside you. You are finally able to hear your own direction without the noise of old fears. This inner clarity is part of why ease is beginning to find you. When the mind quiets, opportunities can finally reach you without obstruction. You may start feeling a shift in how you perceive financial growth as well. Instead of viewing it as something distant or difficult, you begin sensing that it's closer than you thought. Not because of luck, but because your energy is opening. Your mindset is expanding. Your self-worth is strengthening. Abundance cannot flow where the door is locked. And for the first time in a long time, that door is open. Even if your physical circumstances haven't shifted dramatically yet, you know something is changing internally. You can feel it in the way you breathe, the way you think, the way you move. This inner shift is the soil in which ease is planted. Chosen one, your intuitive awareness may also become sharper during this transformation. You begin receiving subtle insights, quiet nudges, gentle signals, small but meaningful inner directions. You notice when something feels aligned, and just as importantly, when it doesn't. Intuition that was once buried under fear is now rising with clarity. You trust your instincts more. You follow your inner signals with more confidence. This intuitive clarity opens doors that logic alone could never unlock. It aligns you with opportunities that are meant for you. It steers you away from situations that would have drained you. This is part of ease, not needing to fight your way through life, but allowing intuition to guide you to what already belongs to you. You may also feel a soft detachment from financial fear, not avoidance, not denial, but detachment, meaning you no longer give fear the authority it once held over your decisions. You stop obsessing over worst-case scenarios. You stop rehearsing old worries. You stop letting doubt control your future. Instead, you begin shifting your focus towards solutions, direction, and possibility. Financial fear loses its power when financial clarity begins rising, and that is exactly what is happening inside you now. Chosen one, another part of this transformation is the strengthening of your identity. You are no longer defining yourself by who you were in your hardest moments. You are no longer viewing yourself through the lens of old struggles. You are no longer shaping your expectations based on past limitations. You are recognizing that the person you are becoming is very different from the person you were before. This recognition changes everything. When your identity rises, your future rises with it. You begin making decisions that align with abundance rather than scarcity. You begin choosing paths that match your potential rather than your fears. Identity is the blueprint of ease. You may also notice that your emotional endurance is growing. Situations that once destabilized you no longer have the same effect. You recover from setbacks faster. You adapt to uncertainty more smoothly. You maintain a grounded mindset even when plans shift. This emotional strength is part of what makes money flow more easily to you. You are no longer vibrating in fear, chaos, or desperation. You are vibrating in clarity, stability, and readiness. Abundance responds to those states naturally. Chosen one, you may feel more motivated to create order in your life as well. You begin organizing your thoughts, your responsibilities, your routines, your priorities. You may feel drawn to clear physical spaces, eliminate distractions, or streamline tasks that were once overwhelming. This desire for order is not random. It is your spirit preparing space for the next level. You are making room energetically, mentally, and emotionally for ease to enter. A cluttered environment confuses the mind. A clear environment strengthens it. This clarity invites abundance. You may also notice a growing desire to protect your peace. You become more selective about conversations you engage in. You limit the time you spend around negativity. You avoid situations that make you feel drained or unstable. This protection is necessary because abundance flows best in environments of peace. When your spirit feels safe, focused, and centered, your energy becomes magnetic. You attract differently. You decide differently. You rise differently. Chosen one, the concept of deserving may also begin shifting inside you, not in an entitled way, but in an aligned way. You start realizing that worthiness is not something you earn. It is something you embody. You understand that you do not have to struggle endlessly to prove yourself. You do not have to suffer to receive blessings. You do not have to be perfect to experience abundance. You deserve ease because you carry intention, growth, wisdom, effort, and alignment. This shift in how you view your deservingness is part of the financial awakening happening inside you. You may also begin noticing how your relationship with opportunities is changing. Instead of waiting passively, you become more open. Instead of doubting yourself, you become more curious. Instead of resisting change, you begin embracing it. You understand that opportunities require openness, not perfection. You realize that abundance often comes through doors you didn't expect to open. This openness to possibility strengthens the flow of ease in your life. Chosen one, the more you evolve internally, the more you begin to understand an important truth. Abundance does not chase resistance. It responds to readiness. And right now, you are becoming ready in ways you never were before. Ready emotionally, ready mentally, ready spiritually, ready energetically. This readiness is the path through which ease begins to manifest. Chosen one, as this inner transformation continues maturing within you, you may begin noticing a profound shift in the way you respond to opportunities. Where you once hesitated, you now feel curious. Where you once doubted yourself, you now feel capable. Where you once questioned your readiness, you now feel a quiet sense of "I can handle this." This shift is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is the growing awareness that you have accumulated wisdom, resilience, clarity through every challenge you've survived. Your spirit remembers the strength you gained along the way, and now that strength is guiding you toward ease. You may also notice that your creativity begins to expand in ways you didn't expect. Ideas flow more naturally. Solutions appear more quickly. Inspiration arrives without force. You begin recognizing that creativity is not a luxury, it is the language of abundance. When the mind is no longer trapped in fear, it becomes free to. Chosen one, you may also feel a rise in emotional honesty. You become more aware of what you truly want and less willing to pretend otherwise. You stop settling for situations that drain you. You stop pretending you're comfortable with things that no longer resonate. You begin telling yourself the truth, not the convenient truth, not the safe truth, but the real truth. This honesty becomes an internal compass, guiding you toward aligned decisions and away from cycles that once limited your growth. Emotional honesty is one of the first indicators that your spirit is preparing for elevation. You may also find yourself reframing your past in a new way. Instead of replaying past financial struggles with heaviness, you begin seeing them as preparation. You recognize that the lessons you learned, discipline, resilience, strategy, patience, awareness, are now becoming tools for your elevation. The failures that once made you doubt yourself now empower you. The disappointments that once weighed you down now clarify your standards. The losses that once felt unfair now reveal how much strength you developed. This reframing softens old pain and replaces it with gratitude for how far you've come. Chosen one, you may also sense your internal boundaries shifting. Where you once allowed certain patterns to repeat without question, you now feel the urge to protect your growth. You stop allowing draining conversations. You stop giving energy to negativity. You stop engaging in cycles that keep you anchored to an outdated version of yourself. This boundary strengthening is not a withdrawal from life. It is an alignment with your future. You are creating emotional conditions that support ease, not struggle. You may find yourself becoming more disciplined in a way that feels natural, not forced. You begin choosing habits that support your higher self. You start organizing your time with intention. You feel motivated to eliminate distractions, restructure routines, and take steps that bring clarity to your daily life. This discipline is gentle, aligned, and rooted in purpose. It is not punishment. It is preparation. It prepares you to handle the blessings that ease will bring. Chosen one, your emotional patterns may also be shifting in ways that signal deep healing. You no longer spiral when uncertainty appears. You no longer react impulsively when stress arises. You no longer interpret challenges as personal failure. Instead, you respond with steadiness. You pause. You breathe. You analyze. You adjust. This emotional maturity is part of the internal wealth forming within you. It allows abundance to flow more smoothly because you are no longer destabilized by every shift or setback. You may also begin noticing your inner dialogue becoming more supportive. You speak to yourself with more compassion. You encourage yourself rather than criticize yourself. You acknowledge your effort rather than ignore it. This shift in self-talk rewires your energy. It strengthens your confidence. It reinforces your ability to receive. A person who speaks to themselves with kindness becomes more capable of holding success without sabotaging it. Chosen one, you may also feel your relationship with risk evolving. You begin understanding that not every risk is a threat. Some risks are invitations. Invitations to grow, to expand, to try, to rise. You begin recognizing that aligned risks feel different from reckless risks. Aligned risks come with clarity, intuition, and calmness. Reckless risks come with confusion, pressure, and fear. You are learning to distinguish between the two, and this discernment is part of your financial maturity. You may also start noticing that you feel more emotionally grounded in your decisions. You no longer operate from panic or scarcity. You take time to reflect. You trust your judgment. You approach choices with intention rather than impulse. This groundedness creates stability, and stability is the foundation of every kind of abundance. Chosen one, you may even feel a new sense of worthiness rising within you. Not the loud, attention-seeking kind, the quiet, steady kind that says, "I deserve what aligns with my growth." You begin recognizing that you do not need to struggle for everything. You do not need to overwork to prove your value. You do not need to sacrifice your peace to succeed. You begin understanding that ease is a natural part of aligned receiving. You may also feel more present in your everyday moments. You notice beauty where you once saw stress. You find gratitude where you once found frustration. You feel grounded in spaces that once made you anxious. This presence quiets the mind, and a quiet mind magnetizes clarity. Clarity magnetizes abundance. Presence is the birthplace of ease. Chosen one, this internal transformation may not be visible to everyone around you, but you feel it. You feel yourself becoming someone who can receive more without tension. Someone who can hold more without fear. Someone who can rise without losing themselves. Chosen one, as this inner expansion deepens, you may begin noticing a shift in the way you view opportunity itself. Where you once saw limitations, you now recognize possibilities. Where you once felt fear, you now feel curiosity. Where you once doubted your ability to rise, you now sense a quiet certainty that you are capable of far more than you ever realized. This is not a temporary feeling. It is a sign that your inner landscape is changing. Your mind is no longer scanning for survival. It is scanning for elevation. You are no longer preparing for loss. You are preparing for gain. This internal reorientation is one of the clearest signals that abundance is beginning to move toward you with greater ease. You may find that your standards are rising naturally, not from arrogance, but from self-awareness. You know what you bring to the table. You understand your value. You recognize your potential. You no longer accept situations that diminish your worth. Instead, you align with environments, people, and decisions that match your growth. This alignment is not selfish. It is necessary. Abundance flows when you stop shrinking yourself to fit places that could never support the person you are becoming. Chosen one, you may also begin noticing that your energy feels more selective. You have less tolerance for chaos, less patience for inconsistency, less interest in situations that feel confusing or draining. You start choosing clarity, peace, and direction instead. This selectiveness is not a withdrawal from life. It is an elevation of your standards. You are no longer entertained by what used to distract you. Your spirit is craving environments that support your growth, not environments that scatter your focus. As your energy becomes more selective, your path becomes more aligned, and aligned paths always lead to ease. You may feel yourself craving more structure in your life. Not strictness, but intentional rhythm. You begin understanding the importance of consistent routines, clear priorities, and organized goals. Structure stabilizes your energy. It keeps your mind grounded. It builds emotional safety. And most importantly, it makes space for abundance to flow without chaos. When your inner world is structured, your outer world begins to reflect that order. This internal structure becomes the foundation on which your ease is built. Chosen one, you may also start noticing a new relationship forming between you and your past. You no longer feel the same emotional sting when you think about old financial struggles. You no longer feel shame around past mistakes. You no longer feel defined by the difficulties you once carried. Instead, you view your past as the training ground for your present strength. You see the resilience those moments gave you. You recognize the wisdom they provided. You understand the character they built. This shift liberates you from emotional heaviness and opens you to the ease that is forming ahead. You may also begin sensing a deeper alignment between your purpose and your ambition. You start realizing that your goals feel different now, more meaningful, more intentional, more connected to who you truly are. You're no longer chasing achievements to impress others. You're pursuing goals that resonate with your spirit. When purpose and ambition merge, abundance flows more naturally, because you're no longer forcing a path that doesn't belong to you. Chosen one, you may also notice that your inner voice is becoming stronger. Where you once ignored your intuition, you now trust it. Where you once pushed aside your inner feelings, you now listen to them. Where you once doubted your inner signals, you now understand their accuracy. This deepening relationship with your intuition is a major part of your financial transformation. Intuition leads you to opportunities logic cannot see. Intuition removes you from situations your spirit has outgrown. Intuition aligns you with paths meant for your elevation. You may also find that your definition of success is changing. It becomes less about material things and more about emotional stability, peace, clarity, and fulfillment. You begin understanding that wealth is not only measured by what you have, but by what you can sustain without losing yourself. You realize that true abundance includes well-being, balance, freedom, and inner peace. This expanded definition of wealth invites ease, not pressure, into your life. Chosen one, you may also start noticing the way people respond to your transformation. Some admire it, some are inspired by it, and others feel intimidated by it. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your growth highlights their stagnation. You're radiating differently. You're thinking differently. You're moving differently. People can sense when someone has stepped into alignment, and that shift often changes the dynamics around them. But do not shrink. Do not dim. Do not step backward to make others comfortable. Your growth is sacred. You may also feel yourself becoming more comfortable with patience. You understand now that what is meant for you will not pass you by. You realize that everything you've been preparing for is aligning in its own time. This patience is not passive, it is powerful. It reflects trust. It reflects maturity. It reflects inner security. A patient spirit does not repel abundance, it magnetizes it. Chosen one, you may even begin feeling moments of unexpected gratitude, the kind that arrives quietly, without being forced. Gratitude for the lessons, gratitude for the clarity, gratitude for the strength you've built, gratitude for the version of yourself you're becoming. Gratitude elevates your vibration, aligning you with ease. It turns your attention away from fear and toward possibility. It helps you feel abundant even before the abundance arrives. And that feeling itself attracts more. This internal transformation is preparing you for a life where ease becomes normal, where opportunities find you, where your energy leads you forward, where abundance flows not from force, but from alignment. Chosen one, as this inner elevation continues unfolding, you may begin noticing a transformation in the way you respond to subtle shifts in your environment. Things that once demanded your emotional energy now barely affect you. Situations that once pulled you into stress now feel distant, almost irrelevant. You are no longer vibrating at the level of chaos, you are rising into an energy of clarity, peace, and discernment. This change does not mean you are becoming detached. It means you are becoming aligned. It means your spirit is no longer interested in participating in cycles that drain you. You are learning to honor your own energy, and that honor creates space for ease to flow toward you more effortlessly. You may also notice that your relationship with decision-making is changing. Decisions that once felt heavy now feel lighter. Situations that once created confusion now bring insight. You no longer analyze from fear, you reflect from clarity. You no longer choose from pressure, you choose from alignment. Decision-making becomes less about survival and more about direction. You begin asking, what supports my growth, rather than, what prevents my loss? This reframing shifts your entire internal landscape and attracts opportunities that resonate with your rising energy. Chosen one, you may also begin recognizing patterns that no longer match your identity. Certain habits, thought cycles, or emotional reactions reveal themselves as outdated. You feel a gentle but firm pull to release them, not through force, but through awareness. You begin understanding that ease requires letting go, not of everything, but of what no longer allows you to rise. This letting go is not loss, it is preparation. It clears space for better alignment, better opportunities, and better emotional foundations. You may also sense a new level of self-respect taking shape within you. You no longer tolerate disrespect, even in subtle forms. You no longer allow people to minimize your value. You no longer entertain situations that require you to betray your intuition. This self-respect does not come from pride, it comes from awakening. And as this awakening solidifies, you recognize that your spirit was never asking you to settle, it was asking you to rise.